I know everybody is quite tired, but however, I cannot, leave this place without, thanking everybody that, who are involved in this very beautiful celebration. So it's indeed, it's great pleasure, also honor for me to be part of this celebration from the day one, actually, which started last year. I think it is 2nd of January. This was just after, COVID was actually, slowly disappearing from our minds. Okay, it was still there. In fact, I could not come for this celebration because in, my home there was somebody who was not keeping very well. So I had to stay at home, but the program happened here. Okay, not in this auditorium, but in the library building, simply because we had this fear of, not, safe in a closed place, actually. So it was organized in the library building, and we had many people who were, asked to sit far away from each other, and many alumni, also faculty, students, everybody participated. So that is how we actually started this celebration, actually. And it continued with quite a lot of talks, because it's an academic institution. So we can celebrate only in one way. The way is actually to do science, communicate science. So we had lots of talks, and there were complaints also, there were too many talks that we cannot attend. So it went, we actually overdid, okay? But it is for good only, okay? It is not a waste of time or money or anything, because it is very important for an academic institutions to have academic programs. We compensated, in fact, all that we could not do for 1.5 years during COVID, actually. So in fact, actually, if you count the number of talks, it is there, all of them are there in the web, in our YouTube and web pages. And I thank, 2 people who were involved. One was Arijit in the name of HACOM. He organized several interesting talks, heritage talks, special lectures and things like that. The other one is Sayantan. These 2 people, with the help of their teams, they organized. So these two of my colleagues actually made this auditorium all the time busy. Okay, it will cry actually, and the next year probably it will take a big rest. Okay, so it was filled, and then we had high tea almost every second day. Okay, so all of us actually put on weight. Okay, including me. In fact, 1 year before I was actually 5 kilos less. And now actually I gained 5 kilos actually. And I guess it is because of the IIT that was out. So I thank the administration for actually providing, wonderful, snacks, okay, that nobody will forget actually. People who complained about talks, probably enjoyed the IIT. Okay, so it was something that our administration managed to provide to all of us. Okay, so that's how this, the celebration was going on for last 1 year. We had several speakers coming and, demonstrating things, including, this hydrogel stuff that our DAE, do research on it actually, and also showed, how it can be used in our institute. And many people from other organizations came and talked about their work. The importance of science and, and scientists, including about a talk on Baba, who was actually the founder of this entire organization, Department of Atomic Energy. So that's how it went on. And for the last 4 days, actually, what we had was actually, to conclude this 1 year of celebrations, we had a four days of intense talks. Okay, intense means it's really intense. As you can see, there are about 66 scientific talks, which is quite a lot, in my opinion. In fact, we could manage to get really eminent people from different parts of India, and some of them are policymakers, scientists who actually became policymakers, who shared their, views about how science should be taken to, public and things like that. I must say that actually, that apart from these talks by, the experienced scientists, we also talks by our young colleagues, young students, okay? That was really, really nice actually. Every day we had several talks by students and postdocs. And that was very special about our, 4-day events actually. That was quite fulfilling. I think it is important that, in fact, those who spoke, I listened many of them actually. The talks were like, talks that you hear from experienced people actually. So it is a kind of a, nice thing about this program, that it also shows how well they are prepared and things like that. And also the posters kept outside were also like, I used to think, what is this poster is all about actually. But this time, when I listened to the students, I could see the enthusiasm in them explaining every bit of it. In fact, I was too tired on one day. About 1.5 hours, I was listening to them. I said, I will listen the next one, later on actually, because it was too, they're so enthusiastic. Okay, I could see that actually I want to thank those, students who prepared these, posters outside. So these are, some of the nice things that I felt in this meeting. Other one is actually this panel discussion, nice idea. We were happy to participate. And then a stamp release, okay, by Postmaster General. It was the idea by our chairman, Dr. Vyas, and our registrar, Srimati Vinayalata, who actually took it very seriously and then talked to the most important people in postal department and got it done in a very, very short time. Without our efforts, I think, this, you would not be seeing this. I think, it was also, the release was, was actually, it also came in newspaper actually today, I think. I've not seen it, but I saw the link actually. Okay, that was very special event to remember this. Okay, and also we had a cultural event, organized by Professor Raghavan. Thanks to him actually for this nice program. And then followed by the banquet. That was, there are many people I will thank separately, the team behind this banquet. And then other highlight is actually TNSF releasing, children's book, Jantar Mantar. That was a work of our IMSC staff actually, starting from Jam, Indu, Madhavan, and many people who were editors at some point. Indu is actually a current editor, and it was our idea, I think, to collect all the, articles written by all of us, actually not me actually, of course all of you, also IMSC's members. And that is something that we all should be proud of, that we contributed to, society actually this way, spreading science. And I thank Indu especially for, working very hard to get it done in very short time actually. She must have worked very hard to really dig out all the articles from what, Jantar Mantar books spanning for last 20 years or more than that actually. So it is not an easy job. It is not that you Google it and get it actually. It is, you really have to actually scan through all the magazines and get the contributions from IMSC students, postdocs and faculty. That one. So I thank her for that actually. And also we released Professor Srinivas Rao's translation of one of his books actually. That was also one of the highlights. So these were highlights that everybody was happy about. So I want to thank separately to various people who are behind to make this event extremely successful. One is this overall administrative support. Srimati Vinayalata, everybody knows actually by now actually that She was behind for every of the event that took place here with our the team, starting from our administrative officer, Srimati Indra, and PSO KP Shankaran, and 3 JOs actually, accounts officer Srinivas Raghavan, junior administrative officer Parthiban, junior administrative officer Mr. Babu. So with the team, the overall administrative support was actually was done. So thanks to them. Accommodation and local travel were taken care of by Mr. Babu, Mr. Bhaskaran, and IMSC drivers, Mr. Murthy, Mr. Rajshekharan, Mr. Sasikumar, and Paman Travels for whatever the excellent service. And let's give a round of applause to these people actually. And travel booking, mostly air travel bookings, were done by our KP Shankaran. He's here actually with his team, Gokul Balaji and Krishna Kumar, and travel agent Parnala Rundori. So I want to thank all of them actually for this. And travel reimbursement, it's of course very important, so that people who have come, they get what they spent actually. So our accounts officer was busy all these times actually to prepare everything. Mr. Srinivas Raghavan, Mr. Bhatmanaban, and his team actually, and I want to thank all of them. And media team, of course, media team is the team that who actually have been working even before the meeting started, preparing a movie for, that we actually showed on the first day. I want to thank Ms. Gayatri, who has worked tirelessly to ensure recording, live streaming of talks. Also, thanks to Pushpa Visuals for renting equipment and photography support. And of course, computer support. Computer support was by Mr. Ravindra Reddy. In fact, we had a short meeting with him actually. He said nothing bad should happen actually during this period. In fact, I sincerely thank him actually for making sure that nothing bad happened actually. Everything went so smoothly. And Mr. Srinivasan was all the time here actually. Okay. Vasan. So if I say Srinivasan, you may not recognize. So Vasan was here all the time. So for everybody, Vasan is actually a buzz. It's like they're in our head actually. If something happens, it is Vasan. So that is how we are all tuned in IMSC. Anybody who who worked in IMSC for few days would realize actually, Vasan is somebody whom you cannot live without actually. So he is there for everything. Okay, so let me thank, Vasan. I take this opportunity to thank him actually in this event. Excellent job he had done actually. Mr. Dinesh and Mr. Nagamaleshwara, who actually, Haripriya, who were all with that team actually to make sure that computer worked actually. Electrical team, of course, Mr. Mohan is very quiet all the time. But of course, he is the one actually who actually makes every place, bright. Without him, I think, we will not get proper air conditioning, this and that, everything actually. So his team, Mr. Mogan, Mr. Tenarse, Mr. Muvendra, Mr. Vijay Kumar, even though they are very quiet, but they are all very, electrified people actually. All the time busy, making sure that, we all have a comfortable stay inside the auditorium with good air conditioning and things like that. Okay. And civil team, of course. Civil team, you must have noticed actually, there were a lot of work that were done actually to make sure that when our visitors comes, they are all comfortable in this institute. Mr. Sundar, Balachandar, Saktivel Murugan, they did a wonderful job, as you can see actually, because a lot of work is going on in this institute. They made sure that things are cleaned up so that our visitors actually feel very comfortable, going around the campus and things. Because as you can see, renovation work is going on, and they are all very busy with that actually. So I want to personally thank for making sure that everything is in order actually. And also I want to thank housekeeping, security staff, particularly Amal Raj, who actually were with them actually to make sure that the entire institute was neat and clean as usual. We are always, neat and clean. And because there are more people, so we had an extra effort to actually to keep it in order actually. Our gratitude to the team of Post of Special Cover and my stamp, that we had, that I already thanked actually. And also for catering, okay, this is the most important part, as you all know actually. Without that, we would not have even entered into this room. So I want to really thank actually, this catering team for their humongous job, particularly Indu, Sushmita, Asan, Saket, and extremely hardworking staff like, Krishna Balaji, Munusami, Rajkumar, Ravichandran. Okay, behind them there were 3 people actually I want to mention: Registrar, Srimati Vinayalata, KP Shankaran, and Indra. They were all with them actually to make sure that we get very good food actually all throughout this meeting actually. Okay. Okay. So, of course, there was also cake. Okay. You will not forget such a big cake actually that was actually cut on that day. I want to thank, I think, Sushmita Gupta and Saket, and also Shankaran. They apparently, this was really difficult to make actually. So I came to know from Dr. Sushmita Gupta that she had to call the bakery people actually whole day to make sure that it comes on time actually. Special thanks to her for making this to happen on that day, so that we could actually do that cake cutting. Okay, so that was something very nice thing. Okay, and for arranging memento, Mr. Johnson, all of us got some nice presents. Johnson worked very hard to get it done in time actually. You can see there is nothing missing in every bag actually. He got the best ones possible. So that thanks to him actually. And of course, the beautiful logo that you see everywhere, reminding us about this IMSC 60. I want to give a special thanks to Indumati, who actually made this to happen. And our library staff, time to time helping me to provide, our achievements, okay, in every such, events. And I want to thank Dr. Pandian and his team for providing the data on IMSC. Okay. And then website and poster, I want special thanks to Rahul, Gokul Balaji, and Disha. And panel discussion, again, Rahul, Mr. Sundar, and civil staff. And decorations by Manas, Satish, Tanmay, Ankur, Sushant. They are all our students, actually. This I want to specifically mention. Our students, actually, they participate in every aspect of this meeting, actually. Okay? There are many names, and, this is an opportunity for me also to really actually see them, talk to them, because, somehow it's a big institution now with 126 students. It is impossible to remember, for any human being that many, unless you are actually, teaching them that particular group. So this was an occasion that I could meet a lot of, enthusiastic students in this institute. Okay, so thanks to all of them who actually, came and did many things like, drawing this beautifully and putting this, eco-friendly, decorations and all that. I'm thankful to them actually for taking part in all these activities. Cultural events, as I said, Professor Raghavan and Sodharma Vaidyanathan, who actually performed, and our team actually. I want to thank them for actually making that evening very, very lively actually. Wonderful program. Social media, of course, Rahul Siddharthan and Varini took care of it. And I heard, even though I'm not on any social media, but I came to know from my friends that IMSC is actually there everywhere now. In the sense, actually, there were a lot of followers, following, what is happening in IMSC and tweeting and things like that. It is very nice to know that IMSC is getting more and more popular, even in social media, actually. So And, I cannot leave without, thanking the following members, actually. Even though I thanked, I missed out some of them, actually. Our staff, particularly, you must have seen them, bringing the presents and things like that, but they did not do only that, actually. They were working behind the names that I mentioned, actually, already, in their office, making sure that everything is done before the visitors leave and the program ends, actually. They are the names, I want to read out. Mrs. Prema, Mrs. Ushanandini, Mrs. Geeta, Mrs. Jayanti, Mrs. Archana, Mr. Parthiban, Mr. Amar, Mr. Gopi, Ms. Sadhana, Ms. Maurya. So these are names, actually, you cannot forget, because they are the big team, actually, working in the institute and making sure that everybody was comfortable during the entire meeting, actually. Student volunteers, as I said, students played an important role in this meeting. Chandrani, Vishwajit, Sushant, Anup, Sashikant, Ajaya, Ashutosh, Priyatosh, Hitesh, Nikhil, Madhumita, Rohit, Shanmugapriya, and many, many others, actually. So if I had missed some names, apologies. And it's possible that I missed some names who contributed to this meeting. Apologies. Finally, okay, I must tell, how this all started, because if I had said this, it would not have looked nice. See, if I recall, actually, while we were all busy, organizing talks, listening, because, because of these two gentlemen, we, till last month, we did not really, take up this, kind of program to organize, actually. So this organization started at very late stage, actually. Okay, it's not that we started 6 months before. We started very late. Okay, so I realized, just about 1.5 months back, that it's going to be, going to be, January 2nd, and we didn't have any plan, actually. So at that point, I just called the youngest of the lot, actually. Okay, there are some senior members also in the group. I called Professor Shawli, Professor Anup Dikshit, Professor Arjit Samal, Professor Arnab Pal, Professor Ramya, Professor Ragul Siddharthan, Professor Saket Saurabh, Professor Sayantan Sharma, Professor Arnab Pal, everybody, actually. These are the names. Okay, let me finish, actually. So I called them to my room, actually. It was about 1.5 months before. You can imagine. I think 1.5 months before. I called them. I said, we need to organize a program, small program, for a few days, actually. So they jumped into this, actually, the same day. I said, I won't interfere with you. That is the only thing that I said. I will not give any ideas. I will not do anything, actually. Whatever you need from me, I will do it, actually. So that is the promise I made, actually. Because if I had done anything, this meeting would not have been successful. That I can guarantee. Because I'm not great in organizing anything. Let me accept my inability to organize things. So they actually took it seriously. And because of my less intervention, and thanks to the team led by our registrar, Srimati Vinayalata, we could make this program successful. They actually planned everything. Everything happened, secretly in many places. They didn't even update me. Okay, I was unhappy, actually, I must say. But now I forget everything, because I'm not serious, actually. Don't think that I was very unhappy or anything. But the thing is, actually, I did not know. If my wife asked what is the program, I said, no, I don't know. They are there. Then she used to ask, you don't know what is happening, actually. You are not a director, she used to say. I said, yeah, of course. So it was like that, actually. Because that was done intentionally, because if I had interfered, it would not have been successful. Okay, that I was very sure. Okay, so it was, the entire, this everything was actually sort of planned by them. Probably they had many interesting discussions, fightings, and all that actually, because it can happen in such big meetings actually. So, but end of the day, the product was wonderful. Okay, so that is what I think is important. In fact, you must have seen them actually. Some of them did not attend even a single talk actually. So many of them actually, I would say, they were all, and one of them is actually Shauli. Despite that, she had some health issues, she was there till the previous day of the program actually. She was with me. The final plans when we were doing actually, Shauli was with us actually. I want to give a special thanks to her for so much energy. Being a more senior person, she really advised, in many ways actually throughout this. So special thanks to her actually. And of course, I cannot actually say, who did what actually, but all of them actually did 100% of their effort. So I think, I owe quite a lot to these people actually. Without their, enthusiasm, interest, and you can see some of them are the, youngest lot. They actually have no idea about IMSC. Some of them, like Anup and Arnab joined about a year back actually. So I must thank them for their enthusiasm about IMSC. This is 60 years of IMSC, but they are the youngest babies of this institute who really actually did a lot of things. Arjit is a youngest. Okay, the way they put in the effort, I don't think I had done in my life, Sorry? Ramya is another. Sorry, I forgot. Sorry, Ramya. Ramya is the youngest. Okay, they're all very young actually, of course, compared to me. So all these guys, they did wonderful job actually. So I take this opportunity to thank all of them, and above all that, actually, the people who came and gave talks from different places. Some of them are here, some of them already left. So I sincerely thank all of them who consider our institute seriously and come and gave talks. That's one thing. Finally, I want to thank the agency, our organization which supports such nice events, Department of Atomic Energy, and our chairman Vyas. Actually, when I told him, he was very enthusiastic about having such a program in IMSC. Also suggested these things. So I thank the supporting agency, which generously supported to have nice programs. So thank you all for listening to me for this, some 15 minutes or 20 minutes patiently. Let's have 70 years by some of you in 10 years now, actually. Thank you.